It's really dry and rocky here, but what can we do to have fun? The hiking and biking are great, but there's so much more that goes on with the plants and animals and how they thrive. So come on inside and let's see what's going on.
The North Mountain Plant Inventory Project really began several years ago and was a grassroots effort in which I and Stacy Butte went out to the North Mountain Visitor Center, which is run by volunteers, and we met with people from the community and really reached out to them and said, what are your concerns for this mountain preserve? And what are the kinds of things that you think are important to know about it? We eventually settled around the idea that a priority and an interest of the community there around that mountain was the flora of that park. The people involved, the organizations involved, are the Desert Botanical Garden through the Conservation Alliance, which is a consortium of stakeholders around the valley, and it includes the City of Phoenix and their Parks and Recreation Department, which is the land manager of the North Mountain Park.
The Natural Resources Division of the City of Phoenix is preserving and protecting these open space lands for future generations. These preserves offer unique and wonderful recreation opportunities in an urban city setting.
We see this as not an end, but a means to further the goals of the Save Our Mountains Foundation, and that is to add additional lands into our preserves.
Through a collaboration, we came up with the North Mountain Plant Inventory Project. The intent of the project is to collect information and document the flora of the North Mountain Preserve using citizen scientists, and that's when many of our volunteers became budding botanists.
The goals of the North Mountain Plant Inventory Project are to document the flora that exists at this point in time on that mountain park. And then that information provides baseline data moving forward. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and so on, we can see what changes are happening on the park floristically, and then we can start to understand what are the factors that are affecting the ecology, the natural parts of this park.
All the data that we can gather that we see right here. So we're putting down locality, we're using a GPS, global positioning system, which gets us within a few meters, which is great. And we also put in the habitat. This is desert scrub, it's in a drainage, associated species, what the plants that we're collecting grows with, how common each of these species that we're collecting is, how tall. This will go on a label that will be affixed to the herbarium, the specimen. These specimens will be pressed, they'll be mounted on special paper, the information put on that sheet so that people 50, 100 years from now actually can look at the specimens, and with that data, and all that information is going to be right on that label.
And botanical illustrations are so important to botanists because they can illustrate key characters of the plants that photographs cannot show, and we can actually say this is what we want to emphasize in looking at this plant and distinguishing it from others, and we can have the illustrators do that.
We use vouchers, photographs, microscopes, rulers, even computers to develop critical plant structures. The botanist then reviews and critiques the final composition. Upon approval, the illustrator transfers the drawing to paper or film and completes the illustration in pen and ink, as opposed to botanical art where watercolor and colored pencil is most often used.
This exhibit seeks to preserve representation of the plants collected as part of the North Mountain Plant Inventory Project. As the citizen scientists continue to collect plants, the botanical artists will continue to illustrate them. So go hike these trails, but stop every now and then to take a closer look. You'll be delighted. These plants truly draw us together.